It's me, Steve. I'm just going to talk through this Star Wars Fallen Jedi clip I redesigned. We'll put it on first. Give me one sec, so you can see what's going on. Boom, Darth Vader. Right, here we go. So I've split this down to make it a bit easier so you can see what's happening into the different components or characters, if you like. So I always tend to start with ambiences first and do this sort of broad strokes and then kind of dig into some of the details. First off, we've got kind of a generic sort of ambience. I'll show you this. So it's kind of far away. It's got loads of loads of EQ on it. And again, what I found when I got to the mixing stage was it was kind of heavy on the mids. So there you go. Then I went to the door, which is made of 4 audio components. So let's okay, a bit like a drum and bass kind of. So it's, but yeah, it's split into 4. What we've got first and foremost, I think this is the door release itself, or the door sliding. Yeah. Again, it's got this hall reverb that I've put on all of the kind of surrounding components. There's an air release sample. So I wanted to give the impression that there was like an airlock. There we go. And we've got a little camera, so it's like a little mechanism. And then finally a big sort of metal chunk. So again, it kind of gives a sliding thing to it. So all together now. There you go. So next up, I'm just doing a whistle-stop tour on this, so if I am going too fast, I do apologise. Yeah, so this is the lightsaber. The purple stuff is kind of the lightsaber hits. Again, it's just kind of layered up. It's all built around this 808 kick, because I thought it was at the sort of time period. It's a bit retro. I'll give it there. And then everything kind of goes around that. There's loads of sizzles, which when it came to mixing made it a bit tough, but I'll break it down so you can see. Okay, so we got that, the kick itself. I've boosted the lows on mid to lows on that. There's a fire impact, which I've just kind of taken out some of the low there to catch, and that get some more of that fizz going into the lightsaber itself. The fire bits. It kind of had a flangey sound to it already, this. A neon zap. With loads of OTT on it. And it gave quite a tonal thing when I did that. You know, that kind of neon particles. Loads of fizzes. High voltage. Yeah, that's for when they clash. And finally, this a sort of electric noise. I think this is kind of a generic. Yeah. So yeah, the only thing I kind of did with a couple of these with the clashes was started to pitch it up. So as it goes in, and the idea being is, once it gets to that stage, you can see that, you know, there's that kind of friction against the lightsaber. So I'll let you have a listen to that. so there you go. You can kind of hear that rise as well. There's some of that going on in Cal's saber too. The little robot guy, I can't remember his name, but here we go. So this was just like, again, kind of whirring noises for him looking around. Some of it gets a little bit lost. So there you go, yeah, it just has a little and robot's electric. That's when he gives the shock to old David Vader. Where's he gone? There we go. So that was the low kind of fizz, and I've mixed that with a firework. And then I had these kind of weird, like 8-bit sounds. And these are all taken from a library. Yeah. So yeah, kind of R2-D2 kind of redesign, I guess. And then we move on to Cal's saber. It's probably the most kind of coolish bits, I suppose. So first, there's 2 parts to Cal's saber. There's the low, which is just this sample. Oh, hang on a sec. Kind of lightsaber-ish. I thought it did quite well in terms of when it's near the camera. And we've got the high, which is which I created in Massive. I'll show that shortly. And basically, what I've done is I've created it, added a ton of processing, and also then automated kind of the volume and the panning to get movement in the saber. So if I put those 2 together, so you can hear there, I know it says phase plant. I tried to do this in phase plant first, but I couldn't get it to sound quite right. With this one, it's pitched. So again, I'm trying to build that energy for the drop here. Okay, and then we've got a few of these extra hits. So I'll show you all of that saber bit together. You can hear it working. So yeah, there you go. In terms of kind of Foley and stuff for Cal, I split this up again. So there's the clothes he's wearing, quite kind of clothy. Yep, that's going through to the that whole reverb as well. The footsteps themselves are split into 2, so there's a high and a low. I've called it the boot and the grate because the grate itself will resonate. If you remember those floors from Star Wars, they're like grates. And to get variation, what I've done is I've time stretched and kind of had a few different types of the same thing and squished and pitched again. For the boot, it's kind of the top end of it, or the toes, if you like. Still kind of metallic, and the hallway helps to put the resonance together. Let's clear all that. So yeah, that's Cal all together there, and our pal David. Yeah, so the breathing. So that sample right at the beginning I showed you on the door, I actually used it again in this. There's 4 samples, and the variations of each just repeated. I had to kind of audition this next to the YouTube video I found of him breathing, and it's a lot slower and laboured as I remembered. So I just kind of tried to get as close as I could to it. I'm using Pitch Monster. I did try Flange, but it didn't sit too right for this. And I'll just turn that off so you can hear the individual sample. Still sounds like it's got that pitch on it. I must have rendered it out. Okay, forgive me. Was it going through the... okay, yeah. Let's see what we've got going on here. Yeah, so both of those things are going through all of this here. Let's turn it all off so you can hear the actual sample itself. That's my cat. Yeah, that's the actual sample. The second one, which has got Pitch Monster again. So that's the sample. Yeah, so there's like a 2 blows. And again, I've just kind of automated this to get the rhythm right. So I'll put all that back on so you can hear this filthy breath. Here we go. Ah! So my cat's put me off. Right, here we go. So yeah, that was kind of fun to do. Vader's lightsaber. I tried to recreate this, but in the end, it's so recognizable that I just couldn't get away with it. So I managed to get kind of an idle type sample. I did the saber powering up right to start with some automation on there. I kind of treated it the same as Cal's in terms of volume and distance and panning to give movement, and automated all of this. I could probably show you this actually. I must have rendered that one too. Oh no, it's in the main one. So you can kind of see the saber working away there. Yeah. Yeah, so just a compression on that idle, and then when I've gone into when Darth Vader's gone into swinging, he's got his trademark kind of swings on there. What's this? There you go. Okay, also, in terms of Foley, I was using bits of rope, more for not his cape or anything like that, literally just to kind of build tension and on his grips and stuff. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So yeah, the first thing you can see is grip the saber, and it's helping to create that tension before that impact of the force push. And also when he kills that poor old droid, he squeezes his head. I treated the footsteps kind of the same as Cal's. A little bit more metallic and a little bit heavier in terms of the bottom end of things. Now Vader's got his own force, obviously, the dark side. So give him that first thing of the impact of the force push, and then we got this, which was just I think a sample. I can't even remember where I got it. Neon sample. And then again, I've just put all of these into buses and split out. So that's it. That's the breakdown. I think